Yeah, Kiara Leslie and Dee Dee Rogers. Kiara Leslie and Dee Dee Rogers. $12.55. Before we get started with Coach Westmore, who'll be here shortly, the two NC State players who'll be at the press conference are Kiara Leslie and Dee Dee Rogers. Just as a reminder, please silence any cell phones or electronic items that you might have. There's no flash photography allowed in this room. If you have a question, please raise your hand and then wait for the microphone to get to you. We have a couple of mic holders who will get to you. If you have one question, that's great, and a follow-up is great too. If we have time for more, we'll go ahead and come back to you in turn. Please identify yourself both by name and affiliation. And then once the student athletes get here, designate to which one you want your question to go to, or if it's both, let us know that as well. The NC State locker room will be open from 12:25 to 12:55. And their practice is from 1:10 to 2:40. The first 15 minutes are available to the media. Coach, to my left, of course, is NC State head coach Westmore. Just a brief opening statement, and we'll go to questions. And before you do that, I want to point out in the front row, if he'll stand up, the NC State SID contact is Brett Compton. Thanks, Brett.
Obviously, we're very excited about being here, very proud of what this team has been able to accomplish. And again, it's great to be in Greensboro. the Greensboro Sports Committee does such an awesome job of putting these events together, and all the volunteers. We appreciate all the work they put into it. And so like I said, we're excited about being here. We know we got a big challenge ahead of us. Iowa's a very well coached and very talented team, so we'll have our hands full. But again, we're glad to have another opportunity to continue our season.
Questions for Coach? You're in the front row on the left.
How you doing, Coach Moore? Jonas Pope with the Raleigh News and Observer. After the win against Kentucky the other night, I was talking to Dee Dee about playing like her career might end, and you said you prefer for us to keep it light.
Yeah.
So what's light look like around the NC State locker room and program?
Well, I think right now, we're feeling pretty good. I guess what I'm saying is, don't really want to talk about the end. Because again, these kids, obviously Dee Dee's been here 4 years and has put a lot into our program, and so I want to keep it light. Let's enjoy it. Let's go out and play like we have all year, and treat it like any other game.
Oh, here on the right, Coach.
Hi, Coach. It's Jeff Mills from the Greensboro News and Record. I wanted to ask real quick about the matchup with Megan Gustafson, what kind of problems she presents for y'all, what kind of player you've seen on tape about her.
Yeah, you're talking about a young lady who's averaging 28 points a game and shooting 70% from the field. So you start there. I mean, that's a great challenge. We've obviously had a couple of days to prepare, but there's no stopping her. It's just a matter of hoping you can slow her down a little bit. But obviously she's got a lot of great players around her as well. If it was just her, you could put about 4 people around her and get it done. But they've got a lot of players that can step up and hit shots. They've got 3 young ladies shooting the 3 pretty well in their starting lineup. And Stewart is doing a great job. Her field goal percentage is very high as well at the 4 position. So they got a lot of weapons, but you got to start with Gustafson for sure.
Follow up from Jeff.
Just one quick follow-up. The 70% shooting, that's a staggering number.
Yeah.
And it's got to be more than just getting shots close to the basket. What does she do well around the rim or around in that area?
Well, she has good basketball IQ. She knows how to get seals and work angles. Very strong. Has a variety of ways she can score the ball. Her teammates do an excellent job of putting the ball where she can go get it and score it. But yeah, she can definitely. She's got a nice stroke outside. She hadn't shot in the 3 a lot. I think she could. Her shot looks good. She's more around the high post area, again, it's mostly inside, and it's funny, you watch some film on her, and they understand to get off that left block. That's her area, and let's get her the ball. So, again, a great player.
Over here on the left.
Hey, Coach. Travis Lunt from Women's Hoops World. I just wanted to ask, you've beaten preseason projections every year you've been in Raleigh, and this year you guys were projected 4th, lost Ely before the season even started, and somehow throughout this just mess of injuries y'all have gone through, you still beat it and finished 3rd in the conference. What have you seen out of this team that has allowed them to just continually, I mean, at a certain point, the next man up cliche just doesn't even cover what y'all have been able to do?
Yeah, like I said, I couldn't be prouder of them. I've told everyone before, this is a close-knit group. I mean, we really strive on getting young ladies that are good people, and consequently, they really care about each other. They're close. They spend a lot of time together. So when you have an injury, it's not just the physical pain that the person involved endures. It's the whole team emotionally, as friends, have to experience as well. And to go through that 4 times in one season is really tough. 3 of those obviously were in games. And so, you try the first practice back. I think everybody saw them and a little bit down, and you fight through that practice, and then the next one, you just say, hey, our expectations haven't changed. We got to get back to work. We got to do what we do. And, I'm proud. Kyle Crutchfield, for instance, has done an unbelievable job. Obviously, Elisa Canane, a local product here. She was already making contributions, but I think when with the injury of Erica Cassell, she knew, now I have to do even more. And then just the whole team. You don't replace some of those great players with just one person. It's a team effort, and everyone's had to do a little more and maybe do something that they haven't been expected to do in the past. And they've just found a way to get it done. So, like I said, it's an amazing group of young ladies, and I'm excited for them.
Front row on the left.
You just mentioned Kai. Obviously, she's a local Raleigh product, but can you just talk about her emergence the last couple of games with how she's been able to pick up the scoring slack for you guys?
Yeah, last 3 games, I think she's 10 of 14 from the three-point line. And, she's sometimes a little bit quieter or whatever. I'm on her all the time about being a little more aggressive because Kai's blessed. I mean, she's a good athlete. She's, she got a great basketball body. And, I think there's still more. I always think there's more in the tank, on every one of them. So I'm on her sometimes, but, the way she stepped up. And to be honest, she did this a year ago in our Sweet Six to get to the Sweet 16 when we beat Maryland. She hit some big shots in that game as well. So, hopefully she likes this stage. But, we're excited for her. And, you mentioned local product. I mean, of course, Kayla Ely was injured, but a Raleigh kid. And then Kai, and then, Kiara Leslie, of course, Dee Dee from Charlotte, KJ from the metropolis of Jamesville, North Carolina. And, we got a bunch of North Carolina kids on this roster, and I think it means a little more to them to represent NC State.
Front row on the right.
Having a bunch of North Carolina kids on the roster and being in Greensboro for that, what kind of advantage is that for y'all?
Well, I think having played over here before and obviously just playing over here a couple of weeks ago or a few weeks ago gives you a little bit of a comfort zone maybe. We are, expecting to see a lot of red out there, hopefully. So I think that makes a big difference. Our crowds at Reynolds, they've been very vocal, very loud, and I think that's been an advantage for us playing at home, and we're hoping that we can kind of carry that over here. But I think Greensboro's always been very supportive of women's basketball in general. So I hope everybody will come out, and it'll be a great crowd, great energy, and I think your kids play better in that atmosphere.
The front row on the left.
Just to follow up from my first question. Has this group been loose the last couple of weeks, and are they having fun and enjoying the ride so far?
I think so. Sometimes in practice, I'm always focused and on task, so to speak. So, but I think this week I think we've enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm proud of them. I'm excited about this opportunity, and so we've had a good time with. We came over yesterday and had a good meal last night, and just being around them, I think everybody's loose and feel good about where we are and how we're playing, and hopefully kind of savor the moment.
Any more questions for Coach? In the middle.
Hey, Coach. Patrick Keenis, NC State Radio. Congratulations, first off. It's not random or happenstance that NC State is second in the country in fewest fouls. But if you go back to last year's Sweet 16 game against Mississippi State, when the foul trouble hit early second quarter, their big player kind of took over and the game was almost done at that stage. So that established, have you had any other conversations with Elisa about defending the post of Gustafson this week? And what kind of moves does Gustafson possess that you want to make sure that doesn't attract or that doesn't draw fouls from Elisa tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a big challenge, no doubt. And, we're going to have to she's going to be a point of emphasis. I mean, I don't think that's any secret. You're going to try to provide a lot of help there. So hopefully we don't leave Elisa on an island too much where she's the only person between her and the rim. But, yeah, that's definitely something you're worried about because she is a very physical player, and she's going to attack the the defensive player and try to get seals. And unfortunately, sometimes when that happens, they call the fouls on the defense. But she's just going to have to be smart, and we're going to have to be smart about mixing up defense maybe and giving her a lot of help so that it's not quite as easy to get her one-on-one.
Again, in the middle. Get the microphone in the middle right here. No. Sorry. Any more questions? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank y'all for being here.
Yes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with both the NC State student athletes. And to my left is Kiara Leslie and Dee Dee Rogers. And just a reminder, please designate which student athlete the question's for, or if it's for both of them at one time. And we'll go ahead and get started with questions. Okay, over here on the left.
Hey, this is for both of y'all. I'm Travis Lynn from Women's Hoops World. I just wanted to ask, you guys obviously have suffered quite a few injuries this season, but somehow, still beat your preseason projections, still finished third in the conference. And it's just been unbelievable watching this team just keep reloading and keep kind of changing to fit the new personnel as they come in. What has that been like for y'all as far as adjusting to different people and changing your games, and how has things in the locker room kind of helped that process along?
Kiara, do you want to take that first?
I think that we knew once we started losing the players that we all had to come together and contribute a little bit more in different areas. And I think that we've all done well, especially the freshmen Elisa and Kai stepping up and playing major roles, coming in starting late in the season. And I think they did a really good job of that.
Dee Dee?
Yeah, I'd agree with Kiara. I think it's just a matter of people stepping up in the roles that we lost, and I think that everyone that needed to did a very good job of doing so.
Over here in the front row on the left.
This question's for Kiara. Dee Dee and I just had a long conversation about this in the locker room, so I'll ask your opinion. Is this team loose right now, and if so, like, who is the person who kind of keeps you guys laughing and keeps things light in the locker room away from the court?
Well, I would say Grace Hunter used to do that. Now, it's hard to say. I mean, we all joke around when we want to, but no one was a really big goofball as much as she was.
Over on the left on the fourth row.
Kiara, after the adversity you had earlier at the start of your college career, how much more does a season like this mean?
It means a lot. Coming from where I came from, not a lot of people know my entire story, so just conquering and overcoming what I've been through has been a blessing. This senior year has been going great, but we're not finished yet.
In the middle on the third row.
Hey guys, Patrick Keenis, NC State Radio. Several questions, but I'll pass the mic off to others. First off, for you, Kiara, in your time at Maryland, the year after the Final Four, your freshman year, your sophomore year, you played Iowa a couple of times the regular season. Gustafson was a freshman then. I know your roles were different then, but do you have any recollections of her as she moved from the bench to a starter, and did you have any visions that she would become the player that she is today?
Over the years, she definitely has improved a lot. I didn't know she was going to be this great her senior year and that we would be facing her, but it's definitely going to be a great challenge, but I think we're up for it, and we'll see how it turns out tomorrow morning.
Any more questions? Well, over here on the left in the front row.
For Dee Dee, can you talk about how Kai has stepped up the last 2 or 3 games for you guys?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I think Kai has done a great job. She shot really well in the last couple of games. I think she shot well in the ACC tournament as well. She's just, accepting the role that she's in and doing all that she can to help the team, and it's definitely showing.
In the middle on the third row.
Yeah, this this question is for Dee Dee. Dee Dee, you're likely to be matched up against Stewart a lot tomorrow in NC State's man offense, man defense. What have you seen from her as far as her skills as they pertain to you?
She's really good 15 feet and in, so I just need to get to her, from there. So.
Let's keep it right in the middle.
Hi. This question is for both of you. Sorry, not a message. I feel like I'm texting. So for Kiara and for Dee Dee, obviously Iowa runs a lot of man-to-man defense, 2-3 zones, triangles and twos that we've seen in the tournament so far. How much of the emphasis in practice these last few days has been on the zone offense, on the junk offense, if they throw those at you tomorrow?
Kiara?
We've definitely seen a lot of this throughout ACC play, so I think Coach prepared us way back then. I think that we're going to run through a little bit of that today to freshen up, but I think that we have some things for all the defenses that they might throw at us.
Dee Dee?
Yeah, what Kiara said.
Over in the left?
Hi, folks. Brian Rapp, Wolfpacker. Last year, the same level, the same part in the tournament, you faced a team with a very dominant center in Tierra McCowan. What lessons can you take from the Mississippi State game into this game tomorrow?
Kiara, you want to take that?
They're both similar and different in many ways. They both have a dominant post player that we need to try to take away. And they also have outside threats as well. I think that Coach has definitely prepared us for what we might see tomorrow, and we have to work together to get this win.
Dee Dee?
Yeah, like Kiara said, they run most of their offenses through their post player, but we can't just rely strictly on trying to shut her down completely because, like she said, they can easily kick it out and have shooters outside the perimeter. So,
Any more questions? Over here on the left.
Kiara, the overtime game against Virginia Tech earlier this season seemed like kind of a moment for this team in terms of just, being able to take a good couple punches and come back and really persevere and gut out a win. I was wondering if that felt like kind of a turning point to y'all, and if not, can you point to a game where you really felt like everything was clicking?
Definitely that game was tough. We went into overtime, but I think that the way we pushed through overtime and the way the game ended showed our toughness and that we're capable of competing against a lot of people.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
The NC State locker room will close at 12:55. And then NC State's practice begins at 1:10. And again, the first 15 minutes are available to the media.